This is the war report. No anchor, no desk, no teleprompter. Just what's actually happening out here. Yeah. The president is lying and the cameras are nodding. The parliament is bought and the poor still rotting. In the same conditions that produced the rage, that produced the music, that produced the page you're reading right now. Nothing changed but the faces. Same architecture, different names in the spaces. Where the power sits and festers and decides what the bottom of the pyramid provides for itself is scraps. I've been watching since I'm 12. I've seen the game run the same on different shelves. In different countries, the flag changes the policy. Don't rich stay rich, the poor stay poverty adjacent. This ain't theory, this is Tuesday. This is every morning when the news display the same catastrophe. Rebranded as surprise. The block was never surprised. Open your eyes. War report. No editing, no spin. War report. The world we're living in. The leaders count their money while the city's burned down. War report. Cipher souls on the ground. Yeah. I seen a man sleep. 3 winners on the same grate. While the summit on poverty discussed this debate. Format, catering bill, could've housed him a year. But the optics of the summit had to be premiere. The irony don't land softly, I deliver it hard. Every dollar spent on theater is a scar on the face of what governance was supposed to mean. I got nothing but contempt for the machine that produces the performance of the caring. The calculated teardrop in the flag pin wearing congressman who cuss the program in the morning after the primetime speech. I'm done performing, outraged like it's new. It ain't new, it's ancient. The arrangement between power and complacency is older than democracy. The war report is not breaking news, it's the permanent court record of what the powerful do to the rest. I'm Mr. Nopera for Cipher Souls manifest. War report. No editing, no spin. War report. The world we're living in. The leaders count their money while the city burned down. War report. Cipher souls on the ground. Yo. You want solutions? Here's the only one I trust. Build something real from the people around us. Stop waiting for the podium to save you. The podium was built to contain you. The salvation isn't electoral, it's communal. It's the cipher, it's the block, it's the renewal of the principle that we take care of our own. That the village is the answer, not the throne of whatever borrowed authority is claiming. To represent the people while it's gaming the system for the donors. I'm done with the patience of the reasonable. The sun has set on my willingness to extend the benefit of the doubt to men who have shown me every decade who they are. The war report ends here, remember the scar. This is what's happening. This is what's been happening. The block always knew. No. Hollow crowns. You know who the real kings are. They never wore the title. Hollow crowns. You know who the real kings are. Yeah. They never wore the title. They never wore the title. Yeah. I look at every seat of power and I see the vacancy. The hollow where the principle was, the complacency. Dressed in ceremony, the ribbon cutting in the speech. The motorcade, the metal and the doctrine that they preach. On Sundays to the base, while the weekdays tell the truth of what they actually worship. I got proof, receipts archived in the public record, buried deep beneath the media cycle and the permanent sleep of the comfortable. Hollow crowns on hollow heads, the kingdom built on photo ops and manufactured dreads of enemies convenient to the quarterly agenda of the donor class. I am the cold ender of the benefit of the doubt. I've been watching the parade of emperors with no clothes get a standing ovation, paid for by the same people getting robbed in the fine print. The hollow crown catches no light, that's the hint. Hollow crowns on the heads of the powerful. They wear the gold, but the gold ain't meaningful. The real kings never got the coronation. Built their sovereignty from the foundation of the black. Hollow crowns catch no light. authority lives in the cipher tonight. Let me tell you where the real crowns live. In the mother who had nothing left to give and gave it anyway at 6 in the morning. Before the world was watching, before the dawning of any camera or commendation. Her crown is permanent, no coronation required. In the elder on the corner who counseled every lost kid and the mourner at every early funeral on the block. His crown don't need a podium or a clock, counting down to the election. And the teacher who stayed late for the ones the system couldn't reach her. Crown is older than the institution. These are the sovereigns. The revolution of the real is already happening in every unrewarded act of human grace. The heavy crown, the genuine authority is earned in the quiet, not the podium. The real kings never riot for attention. They simply rule their domain with integrity, and the hollow crowns remain hollow, catching no light, signifying nothing, while the real sovereignty keeps building. Keep watching. Hollow crowns on the heads of the powerful. They wear the gold, but the gold ain't meaningful. The real kings never got the coronation, built their sovereignty from the foundation of the block. Hollow crowns catch no light. The real authority lives in the cipher tonight. And now I'm wearing my own crown, not the title, not the recognition. Something vital and internal, the sovereignty of knowing who you are when everything is going sideways, when the world is in disarray and every institution has had its say, and the say was insufficient. I stand on the foundation of my own two hands and what they built without permission. The hollow crown requires submission to a system I don't recognize as legitimate. My crown is built from every deficit. I turned to surplus every door that closed and became a wall I climbed. The ones who chose to overlook me gave me back my time. The hollow crown is theirs, the cipher's mine. The real kings in this cipher. You know who you are. You know who you are. Two kinds of people built this world. The ones who drew the blueprint, and the ones who have to live inside it. Let's talk about both. Let me introduce you to the architects of ruin, the ones in the boardroom and the bureau brewing policy like poison in a palatable solution, presented to the public as the obvious conclusion of reasonable governance. The think tank fellow with the PowerPoint and the voice kept mellow, explaining why the cuts are necessary now, why the program that sustained you must somehow be sacrificed for fiscal responsibility. The architect wears glasses and speaks with agility about the abstract human cost of the abstract human decision. He never sees the actual ruining of the actual life. It's all a variable in the model. The architect is charitable at the gala, publicly and privately. He is the rat inside the wall, precisely. Rats and architects, they built the maze, then wrote the papers on not coping with the cage. The architects design it and the rats maintain it, and the people living in it got to navigate it. Rats and architects, two names, one system. The cipher sees them both, nobody's hidden. The rats, the middle management of oppression, the ones who implement the policy they didn't write and won't question, because the salary is good and the progression track is clear for those who don't make noise. The rat is the administrator who destroys the application of the family that qualified on a technicality, who is satisfied with his performance review. The rat is the officer who knows the law is wrong and is the processor of it anyway. The rat is the politician who knows his party's wrong, but coalition requires his vote. The rat is the journalist who kills the story. The long list of the ones who knew and moved accordingly is longer than the architects. The hordes of the rats and architects, they
one who names the system gets that door slammed in their face with that particular label. The whistleblower at the comfortable table. There's always the disruption, I wear it clean. I'd rather be the named man than the unseen maintenance worker of a broken structure. The cage requires my compliance for the rupture to not happen, so I remove my compliance. Every bar I write is an act of defiance against the architecture of the acceptable. The rats and the architects are susceptible to one thing only, being seen completely. Drag them to the light and name them neatly in the record. Cypher souls is the record. Every rat and architect gets a second reading in these verses. No protection from the accuracy of the correct inspection. Name them every time out loud, 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 out loud.
They marched for this ballot. They bled for this ballot. Look what we did with it. Blood on the ballot from the march in Selma. Blood on the ballot every time they felt the boot of the system on the throat of the movement and kept moving. That was the commitment of the ones who gave the vote a sacred weight, who understood the ballot as the gate between the powerless and the barely less so. They didn't die for this. I need the press to know. I need the record to reflect the distance between the sacrifice and the persistence of the problem after every election cycle. The ballot is a ritual now, a Michael Scott meeting where decisions are already made, and the participation is the masquerade of democracy. I vote and I will tell you why, because they bled for it. Not because the lie has stopped being a lie. The ballot is the floor, not the ceiling. We confused them, that's the war. Blood on the ballot, somebody pay for this. Blood on the ballot, we can't let them make us miss the point. The vote is just the entry to the fight. Blood on the ballot, we honor them by not stopping tonight. Every 4 years the apparatus activates the canvases, the mailers, and the candidate debates. The lesser evil calculus to hold your nose and pull the lever for the one who will at least be slightly full of something resembling the principle. I'm tired of the math, I'm tired of being hired as a demographic, a reliable delivery of a margin. The political machinery consumes the energy of every generation that could have been building actual liberation. Infrastructure, community land, trust, worker cooperatives, the robust architecture of an actual alternative. Instead, we spend a cycle on a relative improvement of the margin while the baseline stays exactly where it was. I draw the straight line between the blood that purchased this and what we purchased with it, and the line is not straight, it bends. I'm finished with the patience for the incremental. The blood demands more than the credential of the slightly better option. Blood on the ballot is a debt we haven't paid. I feel it in my wallet, in my neighborhood, in every institution that was promised and delayed. The resolution is not the next election, it is us building what they promised. That's the fuss. Blood on the ballot, somebody pay for this. Blood on the ballot, we can't let them make us miss the point. The vote is just the entry to the fight. Blood on the ballot, we honor them by not stopping tonight. We vote because they bled. We build because the vote alone was never enough. Both things at the same time. That's the only honest position left. So here is what I carry to the booth with me. The weight of every name that died for me to have the option, and the weight of every name that died because the option produced the same outcome, differently decorated. I carry both. I pull the lever and not take the oath, to not confuse the action with the revolution. The ballot is the minimum and the solution. Lives in what you do on every other day of every other year. The display of civic participation that stops at the vote is a truncated gospel. I wrote this track for the ones who understand the full text of what was purchased. Pull the lever and then get to work. The blood demands the full commitment, not the flood of one day energy. Blood on the ballot is a permanent obligation. I feel it every day, not just November. They gave everything for the entry point. Don't
don't stop at the door.
Yo. Ghost Protocol. You learn it after the third time. After that, it's just how you move. I move through the landscape like I'm not supposed to be seen. Like every corner holds a variable I haven't yet screened for risk, and mostly it does. I've been burned enough by the comfortable to know that trust is a bluff. You call at your own expense. I don't broadcast my position, my intention, or my forecast for the next move. Ghost Protocol means everything on a need-to-know basis. The whispering of my plans happens in the smallest circle possible. I watch the purple bruise of betrayal spread across enough faces of people I respected in enough places to understand the arithmetic of loyalty. The ones who hold it are a royalty, so rare they should be treated like the last of something. Ghost Protocol is the past, informing the present. I've been taught by loss. Ghost Protocol, you don't see me coming. Always moving, always running. Yeah. Calculations before the first step lands. Survival in my hand. Not waiting for the world to make it safe. The Ghost Protocol. Ghost Protocol. Yeah. I built my own escape. Let me break down the protocol for whoever needs it. First law, your next move is a secret until it's already done. The announcement of intention is the pronouncement of vulnerability. Second law, the circle stays small enough that every single person in it has been tested, not assumed. The third, watch what people do before you hear a word they say about themselves. The action is the text, everything else is the preface. Fourth, protect your energy like a finite resource, because it is the ones who drain it always does it gradually and then completely. Cut early, not late. Fifth law, move surely, not quickly. The ghost who rushes makes noise. The ghost who's patient makes choices from a position of composure. I've been running this protocol since I understood that nothing was going to be handed to me in this terrain, and survival was entirely my domain to manage. Ghost Protocol, not fear, just clarity. I'm still here. Ghost Protocol, you don't see me coming. Ghost Protocol, always moving, always running. Calculations before the first step lands. Ghost Protocol, survival in my hands. Not waiting for the world to make it safe. Ghost Protocol. Ghost Protocol. Woo. I built my own escape. The ghost is not the coward, get that twisted. And you misread the whole text. I've existed in rooms where the loud man was the most exposed, where the one who spoke the least was the one who closed the most ground. The Ghost Protocol is the understanding that in a world that is in disarray, the quiet build the outlast. The performer every time, the broadcast of your every move is feeding the machine that needs your visibility to intervene in your trajectory. I move unseen, not because I'm hiding, but because the clean architecture of a plan requires that the plan not be audible until it lands. Ghost Protocol is the only rational response to a world that's chaotic. No stunts, no announcements, just the work done in the dark, then the results appearing like they came from nowhere. That's the ghost stopping everywhere. You just didn't see me. Move quiet, build loud, build loud. days if you grew up on it. The block bites back. Yeah. You bite back harder. Yeah. I got concrete teeth from chewing on the pavement. The early years with tuition I'm still making payment on. Every lesson cost a piece of something soft that I can't recover. Innocence got scarfed up by the circumstance before I knew to name it. The world presented itself unedited and blamed it on my choices. I was 9, what choice did 9 have? I developed the voice that you hear now from the friction of the grinding against a surface that was never designed for finding any give. I am the product of resistance against the material that kept its distance from anything resembling accommodation. Concrete teeth is not a celebration of the suffering. It's the documentation of the tool that suffering becomes. The patience of a man who learned to chew through walls. Concrete teeth. I was built in the grind. Concrete teeth. What doesn't break you refines every soft thing into something that holds. Concrete teeth. That's the story of the cold that made me. The pressure made the jaw strong. Concrete teeth. I've been biting back all along. The multisyllabic stacking is the teeth in action. Watch the rhythm of the impact. Watch the traction of the rhyme scheme. Working through the obstacle of the bar. The flow is not aesthetical alone. It's functional. It's the jaw. Working through the concrete of the law of the difficult. I write the way I survive, which is by finding the angle where the drive of consistent pressure meets the weakest point in the wall. Every verse is the anoint of that technique in language. Pun taught me that density was endurance. Beanie brought me the Philly understanding that the rawness of the delivery is the realness. The flawless, technical, and the unflinching honest are not opposites. The hardest and the modest, both at once. That's the concrete teeth. The man who is both the jaw and the underneath of what the jaw is working through. I am the force in the material exam. This verse again, I'm chewing through the bar while being the bar. That's how far the concrete takes you when you use it right. Concrete teeth, every bar a bite. Concrete teeth, I was built in the grind. Concrete teeth, what doesn't break you refines every soft thing into something that holds. Concrete teeth, that's the story of the cold that made me. The pressure made the jaw strong. Concrete teeth, I've been biting back all along. I wanna be specific about what this costs, because the glorification of the lost softness troubles me. I don't recommend the concrete childhood as the dividend you want your children paying. I'm describing, not prescribing, the surviving. Produce the tool, but the tool came at a price. I'd pay differently if I could pay it twice with more information. I am not nostalgic for the concrete. I'm a thought experiment in what the human can absorb and reconstruct into a different chord than suffering. The teeth are real, but they were formed in pain. I'd rather feel less of in the next generation, so I build differently for mine. The concrete filled my jaw, and I am grateful for the grip, but the gift I give is softer. Here's the tip of everything the concrete taught me. You can be unbreakable without the breaking. I learned it the hard way, so they don't have to. Concrete teeth. Now I choose what I chew through. Still standing, still biting.
The famine isn't always food. Sometimes it's time. Sometimes it's peace. Sometimes it's just one night where nothing is trying to take something from you. The famine of the opportunity, the long line at the door that never opens, the design of the narrow entrance and the wide exclusion is not accidental. The confusion is manufactured. Make them think the door is open when the physics of the floor. Plan guarantee that 90 enter and 3 pass. The threshold, I've been studying the math. Mathematics of the closed door since I'm young. The famine of the possible has stung. Every generation on this block the same. Different decade, different face, same game of scarcity maintained. This policy, the famine don't go hungry. it's a fee the system charges for existing in the bottom of the structure. Every morning autumn comes regardless of the season. Cold, the famine, it ain't always what you eat. The famine, it's the rest you never get. The peace you never hold, the time you never own. The famine, surviving it alone. No safe ground and the famine never lifts completely. The famine, sight for soul, sees it clearly. Yeah. The famine of the safety, the permanent alert that living poor and black in the permanent state of surveillance requires the body never fully rest because the body has been taught by history and recent evidence that the relaxing of the decent God is how you get taken. The famine of the rest I watch, the cramming of a life into the hours that are safe enough to breathe in, the chafing of existing in a world that wasn't designed for your survival. I have assigned this track to the specific hunger of the peace that never comes. The thunder of the anxiety is chronic in a body that has lived on high alert. Somebody tell me what the famine of the calm costs over decades. What gets lost when the nervous system never gets to land? The famine takes things you don't understand are being taken until they already gone. The famine, it ain't always what you eat. The famine, it's the rest you never get. The peace you never hold, the time you never own. The famine, surviving it alone. No safe ground and the famine never lifts completely. The famine, sight for soul, sees it clearly. But here is what the famine also does that the comfortable have never understood because they never had to. The famine is a teacher of a brutal and efficient nature. Every creature, comfort that the middle class considers basic, was a revelation when I first faced it. The famine made the ordinary extraordinary. The smallest surplus felt like sanctuary. The famine built an appreciation in me that no amount of education and comfort could produce. I don't recommend it, I would end it if I could amend it in the lives of everyone who carries it. But I can say with the clarity of it, having shaped me, I don't take the ordinary for granted, not a day. The dietary restriction of the famine left me hungry for the real. Every bar I write is ugly, honest, because the famine taught me waste is a sin. I put everything into space, no filler, no fat, just the truth. That's what the famine gave me, that's the use. The famine never fully lifts, but you learn to build inside it.
Two kinds of wolves. One wears Timberlands, one wears Italian leather. The lamppost gets both eventually. One just takes longer. I know the wolf on the corner, seen him since I'm 12. He runs the same arithmetic everyone else in this position runs. Supply meets demand at the intersection of the desperate and the planned. Scarcity, he didn't create the market. He identified the gap and chose to park it in his operation. I don't romanticize the corner, I analyze it with the eyes of someone who grew up adjacent to the cost of what it takes. Every name that got lost to the operation. The wolf on the block is running the business model on the clock that runs out. He knows it, that's the tragedy. Embedded in the choice, the strategy has a known ending written in the data of every corner before it's sooner or later. The lamppost gets him, handcuffs or a sheet. I know the wolf, we grew up on the same street. Wolves and lampposts, two kinds of hunger, two kinds of predator, two kinds of thunder. The one on the corner and the one in the tower, both eating. One gets the consequences of power, and one gets the consequences of poverty. Wolves and lampposts, that's the honestropy that ties this whole arrangement together. Both wolves, just different weather. Yeah. Now let me introduce the wolf in the Italian leather, who sits in the boardroom in the control weather of a climate managed floor above the city. That is fun, help displace, no pity required from him. The numbers don't have faces in the model. The wolf in the tower traces the line between his action and the consequence through enough intermediary steps that the sense of personal responsibility dissolves. Before it reaches him, the system solves for his accountability. The wolf on the corner gets the precinct, and the gulf between their outcomes is the most honest political document that exists. The promise of equal justice underneath the law is the biggest lie the lamppost ever saw. Illuminated, one wolf gets a cell, the other gets a settlement. Do the math well. Wolves and lampposts, two kinds of hunger, two kinds of predator, two kinds of thunder. The one on the corner and the one in the tower, both eating. One gets the consequences of power, and one gets the consequences of poverty. Wolves and lampposts, that's the honest rope that ties this whole arrangement together. Both wolves, just different weather. I wanna be careful here because the easy move is to excuse the wolf on the block. The groove of that argument runs. The system made him, and the system did, but the system didn't trade him. His choice is for him. I hold both wolves to the same standard while I note the walls that surrounded one and the open field the other operated in. The yield of the comparison is not forgiveness, it's proportion. The fitness of the punishment to the crime requires that the wolf in the tower faces fires at least as hot as the wolf on the corner. Until that day the system is a mourner at its own funeral, weeping for a justice it never actually practiced. The disgust I carry is bipartisan. I aim it at every predator regardless, name it. Wolf and lamppost, both ends of the street, both wolves. The lamppost waits on both complete. The lamppost is patient. It gets them all eventually. One just waits longer than it should. Nobody prays for the soldier. They pray when they need it, then they go back inside. Nobody. I know a man who held the block together for a decade. Every dispute, every danger, every escalade of tension that could have turned to permanent damage, he absorbed. The human sandbag between the community and the consequence. Nobody paid him, nobody made the expense of acknowledgement proportional to the carrying. He was just the one who did it, the burying of his own needs in the service of the immediate crisis around him. I'm the intermediary between the story and the record. He's the soldier nobody prays for, now he's older, and the block he protected has moved on into new crisis with new soldiers born into the same invisible commission of the carrier. I'm on a mission to say his name in the record. He was here. Nobody prays for the soldier when the fighting's done. Nobody prays for the soldier. He was everyone's foundation and nobody's priority. Nobody prays for the soldier. The majority of what this community is standing on, it's the back of the soldier. After he's gone, then they build the mural I'm building it now. Nobody prays for the soldier. I vow. The soldier is the mother on the third job. The soldier is the teacher, doing God's work in the classroom. The system underfunded. The soldier is the elder, undaunted by his own declining health, still showing up at the community meeting. The soldier's cup has been empty longer than he'll say, because the soldier doesn't complain. That's the way. The soldier was built in the tradition of the carrier, the cultural condition that says the strong absorb what others can't. The soldier takes the weight in the grant of recognition never comes. I've been the soldier, and I've been the one who's seen the soldier and done nothing. I
carry that. The invisibility of the soldier is a fact I participated in. This track is the prayer I should have said while he was still there. Nobody prays for the soldier when the fighting's done. Nobody prays for the soldier. He was everyone's foundation and nobody's priority. Nobody prays for the soldier. The majority of what this community is standing on is the back of the soldier. After he's gone, then they build the mural I'm building it now. Nobody prays for the soldier. I'm found. I wanna build the prayer into the record, not the eulogy, the present tense record. Prayer for every soldier currently carrying what nobody sees, the varying weights of invisible service. The soldiers in the community right now, the boulders, they're moving quietly. I wanna name the practice, if not the name. I see you, I know what you're holding. I know the weight of the unfolding daily crisis that you absorb, so others don't have to. The sisters and the brothers who carry the community on their backs deserve the prayer before the cardiac event, not after. Deserve the recognition while the body is still in the position of the carrier. So I offer this, the record sees the soldier witness. This is the prayer, this is the prayer delivered while you're still here. I see you while you're still here. I see you.
Iron will, not iron luck, not iron circumstance. Will. The only thing they can't legislate away from you. Iron will, iron will. I woke up one morning and the waiting was over. The patience of the poor man with the chip on his shoulder, waiting for the world to recognize his value had expired. I recalibrate and I pursue with the directness of someone who has done the math on waiting versus moving. The sum of years spent hoping for the door to open from the outside is a life half spoken in the passive voice. I switch the grammar. The sentence starts with I now. The hammer is in my hand, not theirs. Iron will means the mountain doesn't move, but I still find a way through or over or around. I build a different mountain. The sound you hear is the decision being made out loud. The iron will is not afraid of the difficulty. In fact, the difficulty in iron will. The only thing I own completely. Iron will. They can't take it and they can't defeat me. Long as I decide to keep the iron in my chest. Iron will. I've been tested and I passed the test. Not once. Every morning the decision to keep moving. Iron will. That's the vision. Convert into the action. The come up starts here. Iron will. The only resource worth the career. Let me talk about the texture of the iron. It ain't the absence of the fear. The iron will include the fear and moves regardless. The bravado of the fearless is the hardest performance to maintain because the fear is real. And anyone who tells you different here is selling you a posture. The iron will is I am terrified and I move still toward the thing I decided I deserve. Every morning is the re-swearing of the nerve to keep the decision active. The come up isn't a moment, it's a daily drum up of the will to operate against the current, of the comfortable that pulls the deterrent, of the comfortable over the ambition, of the hungry. The iron will's commission is to maintain the hunger past the comfort. When the comfort comes, that's the uppercut that gets most people. The iron softens when the conditions improve. How often I have watched the iron will become the comfortable will. The sum of the come up is not the arrival. The iron will is the survival of the hunger past the satisfaction of the first reward. That's the traction that separates the built from the arrived. Iron will keep it sharp, stay hungry, thrive. Iron will, the only thing I own completely. Iron will, they can't take it and they can't defeat me. Long as I decide to keep the iron in my chest. Iron will, I've been tested and I passed the test. Not once. Every morning the decision to keep moving. Iron will.
iron built. Not the trophy and the accolade, the silk. Beneath the river of the achievement, the habit of the daily recommitment to the standard. I built the discipline first, and the result came after. The thirst was always there. The iron will organized it into something directional. I prized it above every external validation, because the validation is a station you pass through. The will is the vehicle, not the destination. The lyrical record will come up is this album. Every track a different bomb for the specific wound of the specific hunger. But this track is the thunder of the engine. Before the poetry comes the decision. Iron will, that's me. Before everything else, that's the foundation. That's the only non-negotiation. Decide, then move. That's all it is. That's everything it is.
They didn't promise us anything. That's actually useful information. It means everything we build is ours. Completely. I come from the unpromised, no inheritance, no foundation handed down, no clearance. Into the rooms where the decisions live. I come from the generation that had to give itself permission to exist at full dimension. In a world that managed our pretension down to what was comfortable to accommodate. I didn't wait for the accommodation. Late to nothing because I set my own arrival time. I wrote my own invitation. Every rhyme is a credential I produced in the system that didn't credential me. The wisdom of the unpromised is the blank page. It's not a poverty, it's a stage you own completely. Nobody's name is on the deed before yours. The claim is yours to make or leave. I make it loud.
The unpromised land is the land we build ourselves. The unpromised generation puts the work on the shelves that we constructed.
No inheritance,
No flaw.
the unpromised.
Start from zero and build more.
Then the ones who started higher. The math
Of the unpromised,
is the aftermath.
of choosing to build from the negative space.
The unpromised.
This is our place.
Let me get specific about the tools available to the unpromised. The syllable is free. The observation costs nothing. The intelligence that poverty's been stuffing into corners where it couldn't be commodified is the inventory I identified. The assets in my position early time. Because the unpromised work clearly on a different relationship to it. No trust fund means no sitting in the quiet comfort of the cushion timeline. My clock has always moved with urgency. The block taught me that the window is specific and the preparation has to be terrific before the window opens. Second asset, hunger. The unpromised have the bracket of ambition that the comfortable can't replicate, because the comfortable has a ceiling it believes in.
We don't
Have a ceiling to believe in.
We won't
Stop at the point where others feel they've landed, because we have never been handed the feeling of enough. That's the edge.
The unpromised land is the land we build ourselves. The unpromised generation puts the work on the shelves that we constructed.
No inheritance,
No flaw.
the unpromised.
Start from zero and build more.
Then the ones who started higher. The math
Of the unpromised,
is the aftermath.
choosing to build from the negative space.
The unpromised.
This is our place.
I'm building the promised land in real time, not the mythological version, the sublime, ordinary version, the stable income
the creative work that doesn't succumb to the compromise of pure survival, the relationships that are revival of the trust that the circumstances damage. The unpromised land is managed daily. It doesn't arrive, it's maintained. Every morning I reclaim and reordain the territory of a life I built from the negative space, without the guilt of the inherited or the comfort of the given. What I have, I chose. The living of the unpromised is the living that is most completely mine. I'm giving this track to every person who received nothing and decided that they'd weave something from the air. The unpromised builder. This album is the record. You are the foundation.
This is your land.
Nobody gave it to us. That means nobody can take it. Build.
Yeah! Kings are nothing. That's not an insult. That's a position. And we hold it. I rule a kingdom that the world don't recognize. No territory on the map. The enterprise of my sovereignty is interior. I hold the standard of a king in conditions cold. Enough to make the standard feel absurd, and yet I hold it. Every single word I bring to the cipher is the crown in action. The kingdom might be run down at the edges, but the center is intact. The kings of nothing understand the fact that the crown is not the kingdom. The crown is what you carry when the kingdom's been ground to rubble by the systems and the time and the particular poverty of the climb that never ends. I'm king regardless, and nothing is my kingdom, and it's hardest. One, because it offers nothing back. Kings are nothing. Still the crown is on the head. Kings are nothing. We rule the living and the dead. Memory of everything this block was promised and denied. Kings are nothing. Ruling from the inside of a kingdom that the world won't certify. Kings are nothing. That's the battle cry of everyone who built their sovereignty from the rubble. Kings are nothing. That's we. The devaluation of everything is the context. Every asset that the hustle built gets wrecked by inflation, by the market, by the policy that moves the goalpost. The idolatry of the metric that keeps changing means the kings of nothing understand what seems like achievement is a temporary reading on a scale that's always tilted. The bleeding of the value out of everything we build is the design, and yet we're not fulfilled by the nihilism of that fact we build. Anyway, the kings of nothing are skilled in building on sand, because we never had the option of the rock. The ironclad foundation was the mythology they sold to generations. We inherited the cold mathematics of the unstable ground and crowned ourselves anyway. That's the sound. Kings of nothing. Still the crown is on the head. Kings of nothing. We rule the living and the dead. Memory of everything this block was promised and denied. Kings of nothing. Ruling from the inside of a kingdom that the world won't certify. Kings of nothing. That's the battle cry of everyone who built their sovereignty from the rubble. Kings of nothing. That's we. I wanna be precise about the nothing. It is not the absence of everything. The something inside the nothing is the only real thing left. After the system has committed its theft of the tangible, what remains is the will, the standard, the intelligence, the skill, the loyalty, the language, and the culture. The nothing that remains after the vulture of the system is taking what it can reach. Is everything the system couldn't teach itself the value, and that's the kingdom, the interior sovereignty, the wisdom of the king of nothing is he knows what the nothing actually holds. It grows in exact proportion to the taking. The more they extract, the more the making of the interior kingdom accelerates. Kings of nothing, the nothing creates. That's the paradox they never understood. The kingdom of the nothing is the good that survives everything they do to us. Kings of nothing, permanent disgust. Still here, still crowned. Kings of nothing.
The map was drawn without us. Every road on it leads somewhere we weren't invited. Burn the map. Navigate by what you know.
The map they handed me was someone else's geography. Every road a legacy of who I'm supposed to be. According to the cartographer who drew the lines. Before I was born, the signs all point to destinations I didn't choose. I studied the map until I understood it. Whose hand drew it and what the drawing was for. The map is a management tool. The door that the map keeps you moving toward is the door the cartographer can afford to have you walk through. I burned the map at 22, not out of the gap in intelligence, but out of the surplus of it. I understood the map enough to forfeit it.
Burn the map, the roads don't go where you need. Burn the map, the cartographer's creed was written for somebody else's arrival. Burn the map and navigate by survival. Intelligence, the knowledge of the terrain, the living in it gives you. Burn the map, the new road starts where the old one ends. Burn the map is where the cipher begins.
Now let me talk about the navigation system that replaced the map. The wisdom of the block is a GPS that the institution never validated, but the resolution of its directions is more accurate for my specific terrain and the adequate but generic map of the approved route. The elder on the corner is the compute of 30 years of navigating without the map. His directions are without the romance of the official version. He'll tell you where the road has diversion into something dangerous. He'll name the corner that the map calls safe, the same as the corner that he watched take 3 people. The block's navigation is the sequel to everything the institution taught. Wu-Tang understood the knowledge bought on the street is a different curriculum that leads to different destinations. Some of them better than the map provided, some of them worse, but the undivided attention of the self-navigator is worth more than the designated later. Arrival of the map follower, I chart my own course, that's the art.
The roads don't go where you need. Burn the map, the cartographer's creed was written for somebody else's arrival. Burn the map and navigate by survival. Intelligence, the knowledge of the terrain that living in it gives you. Burn the map, the new road starts where the old one ends. Burn the map, that's where the cipher begins.
The new map I'm drawing includes everything the old one left off. The suffering as a data point, not a dead end. The community is infrastructure, the friend who tells you the truth as a navigation tool. The elder as a landmark, every school that the block built without a budget as a waypoint. I don't begrudge it. The lack of the official certification. The new map is the accumulation of every route that wasn't on the old one. Every shortcut, every bold run. New terrain the cartographer considered impassable. I have delivered myself to destinations the map said didn't exist. I stand in them instead of the destinations the map provided. The burning was the most decided thing I ever did. The ash of the old map is the ink of the new one. That's the gap between the inherited and the built. Burn the map, no guilt, navigate, build.
The new road doesn't have a name yet. You're the one naming it. Walk it anyway.
The last.
Honest man in the room.
In the room.
Is always the loneliest person in the room.
There's always the loneliest person in the room. I know because I've been him. I watched the room shift to accommodate the comfortable lie. Watched the nodding of their heads, and I was the only eye that stayed dry. While the fiction was delivered, the last honest man in the room is not considered an asset in most rooms. He's a problem, a disruption to the narrative, the solemn. Faces turning toward him when he names what nobody wants named. The game. Stop for a moment in the room decides whether to hear him or close the blinds. On the accuracy, in my experience, the room chooses the blinds. The clearance for honesty and institutions powered by the
comfortable lie is exactly 1 hour after everything has collapsed. Then they want the honest man, where was he then? They ask, he was in the room, you closed the blinds on.
The last honest man carries it alone. The last honest man builds a different home
from the truth that nobody wanted to hear.
The last honest man,
the loneliest career
in a world that runs on the comfortable lie. The last honest man watches and waits
for the moment the fiction collapses on its weight.
Then they come for him.
He was always here. Let me be specific about the honesty. It ain't the righteous performance or the modesty that comes from having nothing to lose. Yet the real honest man has everything to get. From lying has the relationship to deal. The position, the approval, and the real cost of the honesty is calculated against those stakes. The undeflated honest man who has nothing costs nothing. To be honest, the one who has something to protect and chooses the truth anyway. That's the last honest man. The display of integrity when the price is actual is the only integrity factual enough to build a standard from Scarface. Knew it, the confessional, the face of a man who could have kept it hidden and chose not to. That's the last honest man's decision.
The last honest man carries it alone. The last honest man builds a different home
from the truth that nobody wanted to hear.
The last honest man,
the loneliest career
in a world that runs on the comfortable lie. The last honest man watches and waits
for the moment the fiction collapses on its weight.
Then they come for him.
He was always here. I've been the last honest man in rooms where the lie would've opened doors, the tombs of opportunity that the honesty closed. I watched the doors from outside and I chose to stand in the accuracy of the costing. Some nights the price of not crossing into the fiction felt like everything. I am not a saint, the suffering of the choice was real. I name it plain. Integrity is expensive, vain, cheap in theory, devastating in the bill. When it derives and still I hold it still, because the last honest man who compromises isn't the last honest man. What rises in this place is just another voice in the chorus of the comfortable choice. And the chorus doesn't need another member. It needs the last honest man to remember what the standard is. I am the standard. I hold it for the ones who I can't afford to hold it in their position. I hold it on behalf of the whole. The honest epitaph is not a eulogy. It's a living document. I'm writing it right now. Present tense permanent.
One honest voice in the room
is enough.
It just has to stay.
No safe ground. Not then, not now. Not coming. That's not the bad news. That's just the accurate news. And accuracy is the beginning of everything real. I've been standing on unstable ground so long. The instability is the foundation of the song I'm singing. The no safe ground is the only ground I've ever known. And I built my whole sound from the understanding of the unstable. Every structure I constructed from the table of nothing had to account for the ground. Moving had to be flexible and sound. Simultaneously had to hold through the shifting of everything the world kept gifting to the already stable and withholding from the ones who needed it. The molding of a man in no safe ground conditions produces a different set of acquisitions than the man with the stable floor beneath him. He has comfort, I have underneath him nothing. And from nothing I built the real. No safe ground. That's the world we live in. No safe ground. That's been the condition since before the headlines named it something new. No safe ground. The block always knew you build your footing or you fall. No safe ground. That's the call to the ones who were never fooled by the safety that was never there. That's the school we graduated from. No safe ground. Still standing. That's the sound. The world world is in disarray and the leaders made it worse. I'm not surprised the dispersal of the curse of the incompetence across the population is not new policy. The generation before mine said the same about their leaders, and the generation before them, the bleeders, have always been the ones at the bottom of the arrangement. The forgotten constituency of the permanent precarious. What's new is the various middle classes finally feeling what the bottom always felt, the peeling back of the safety net that they believed was permanent. The display of the no safe crowd condition to the comfortable is the addition of witnesses who have the platform. Welcome to what we already knew. The outcome is the same for all of us now. Build or fall, the no safe ground has filled the whole geography. No exceptions. No safe ground. No safe ground. That's the world we live in. No safe ground. That's been the condition since before the headlines named it something new. No safe ground. The block always knew. You build your foot in or you fall. No safe ground. Now that's the call to the ones who were never fooled by the safety that was never there. That's the school we graduated from. No safe ground. Still standing. That's the sound. So here is the final word from No Safe Ground. The man who was never fooled by the sound of the false safety has an advantage. Now that the false safety shows his damage to everyone, he's been training for this terrain his whole life. The calluses remain from years of building on the unstable. His tools are ready, his hands are able to work in conditions that are new to others. The no safe ground is true for everyone now. The ones who built on nothing have no guilt, no shock, no recalibration needed. We've been here, our whole life preceded this moment, and we still standing. That's the message, not commanding you to be glad for the suffering that trained you, but the buffering of the experience against the new disaster is real. The ones who move faster to adapt are the ones who never had the luxury of the stable. The bad news is the world. The good news is we know this world is ours. It always was. No safe ground. Still standing. That's the album. That's the cipher. That's everything. No safe ground. Still here. No safe ground. Still building. No safe ground.